Good morning, students. Today I am going to tell you about the thief's story written by Ruskin Bond, who is one of the most prominent Anglo-Indian English children's fiction writer. He was actually an Englishman. His father and mother both were English, but he was born and brought up in India, and he also chose this very land to be his working field, and he remained here since his death. Really, he was a very good man, and he wrote about the child psychology as well as the feelings of the elders that really happens. He has picked up the stories from the Indian tales and the Indian happenings, so such anecdotes are really inspiring intellectualism, and it is full of wits and wisdom. So everyone must read the stories written by Ruskin Bond. First meeting of Hari Singh with Anil, who are the protagonists of this very story. Actually, Hari Singh is the protagonist, and Anil is also just the man who felt the idea of forgiveness is much better than punishing anyone for his little crime. And if you want to improve the quality of a man who is rough, who is thief, scoundrel, and is incorrigible, you must have to sacrifice for his sake. Here, Anil was a young writer. He was living his life very carelessly. He was writing for the magazines and earning the money to run his life. One day, what does happen? Anil was watching the wrestling match. The thief was the thief, the young boy of 15, that was Hari Singh, who was taken new identity is as Hari Singh met him there. Really, Hari Singh best knew how to make a known person a friend. He used an old formula to flatter the person, and automatically the person becomes your friend. It means that he knew how to make everyone his friend. Hari Singh was boy of 15 years old, decided to make Anil his next victim, as he was in search of that. When Anil left the match, Hari also followed him and asked for the job. Anil was not rich to keep a servant, however, he was ready to keep Hari with him because he only wanted food. Anil offered him the job on one condition, that Hari Singh had to cook food. The food prepared by first time by Hari was given to street dogs, as it was waste and tasteless. He told Hari to leave his house, but Hari stayed there, and Anil took pity on him. He allowed him to live with him. And what does happen there? Anil taught Hari how to write and add numbers. It was really one of the most important turning point in the story. Hari stayed with Anil. Anil promised him that he would teach him how to write and add numbers. He also taught him how to cook tasty food daily. Hari Singh was going to buy daily needs and had profit of 1 rupee daily. Anil knew it, but he did not mind it. Both were living together happily. 1 month passed. Hari Singh did not perform his business, that was his business of stealing. One day he saw Anil had bought a bundle of notes. He saw him to put under the mattress. As Hari saw the bundle of notes, his evil spirit awoke in and his mind and decided to rob Anil that night. After taking dinner, Anil slept peacefully. Hari could not sleep. He woke up, he crept to the bed and slipped his hand under the mattress. He found the notes and ran away on the road. It was the conflict between good spirit and evil spirit. As Hari Singh was taught and he was fed without much work, but when he reached the railway station, Lucknow Express was about to go. Suddenly, the good spirit called him. It awakened his mind and heart. His conscious mind told him, "Oh, Hari, what he was going to do." The inner voice told him not to betray the faith of Anil because he was a real, genuine man, and if he really betrayed him, it would betray him. As he knew that the greedy man is afraid, and the man who is proud, who is rich, he is very angry when his thing is stolen. But a common man, a very simple man, a general man, a weak man, just when something is stolen, he just leaves it upon God. So he knew Anil would not do anything, but the faith he had bestowed upon him would be really a matter of great betrayal, and he could never forgive himself. The train was moving, but Hari had no tear to catch it. He was remembering the innocent face of Anil. When Hari Singh thought that what would Anil think about him, Anil would not worry about the money, but he might have felt bad. Man had broken his faith. So while he was returning, he found that it was midnight. Where he should go to his friend's house, or he should go to sit in a dairy in a garden. When he just went to sit under the stars and moon at night in a garden, he found that it started raining. He had put on shirt and pajamas. When it rained, downpoured, and then he just felt that his shirt and pajamas were wet. They stuck to his body because it were due to the rain. Then he went to the clock tower to save himself from the rain. He sat there under the tower, suddenly remembered his notes. That were the notes of 50, and that were 600 notes, 600 rupees. He searched for it and found that all the bundle of notes were wet. Then he stirred. He started to return back to Jamuna sweet shop, where Anil had a room on the top. When Hari Singh searched for his notes, he found that all the notes were wet. He crept again and secretly put back money under the mattress. The next day, Anil woke up. He just prepared tea for Hari, he and himself. Anil was just waiting for him to get up, but when Anil found that Hari Singh did not get up, he was just sleeping in the balcony, he offered him a cup of tea. He also handed over 50 rupees note to Hari and told him that he would be regularly paid now. Hari took the note and found that it was still wet. It means Hari Singh understood that Anil knew about the last night episode. Means Anil could have understood that Hari Singh had stolen money. He might have gone out, but he returned. So he just forgave him. He did not ask him to go. He did not ask him how he had gone out. In the meantime, he knew that he had enough faith in him. For that reason, he always gave him the key of the house, and whenever he came and whenever he went, it was totally dependent on him. Means Anil Singh had complete faith in Hari Singh. So now I mean to tell that Anil, who was so intellectual, who had earned money by fits and starts, irregular income, sometimes he had to go under debt. He had to borrow or lend money whenever he did not have. Whenever Anil had excess of money, he also spent it recklessly among his friends, and he knew, Hari Singh knew that if he did not steal his 600 rupees which he had got by selling one of the books to the publisher, he would spend it, because Anil did not know how to manage money and how to spend money and keep it for future. That's why. But Hari Singh had this very notion that if he had stolen 600 rupees, he would live like a rich Arab for a week or 2 weeks. But after that, he would have no money. He would have to find another victim for stealing. So he wanted to earn that much money by dint of his intellectualism, by dint of his scholarship, by his hard earned knowledge that he wanted to learn. And so he just stayed and he came back to Anil. And Anil also thinks that if he has done mistake, and if he just knows that it was his mistake and it can be rectified, and if he corrected it, then certainly that man should be forgiven. Why not he should be given a chance? So it was better. And now Anil is really such a man who did the job with greatest satisfaction, and Hari Singh became a writer and he wrote this story. And now you can understand that what is the importance of learning, what is the importance of stealing, and what is the importance of patience, and what is the importance of sacrifice. Children, I hope you will understand the whole idea and the opinions opined by the writer, as well as if you get any question from this very fiction, you can answer to them so easily. Thank you, children. Thank you.